So, Prakash ji, you mentioned that you're not yet ready for today's presentation. Is that right?
Yes, Vijay ji.
Okay. So then, there are two things that we can do. One is, right now we are at the final chapter of Tattva Bodha. That is the Jivan Mukta, and how that happens and how the karma drops. So that is one of the topic that we are yet to fully discuss. Then in addition to that, today there are couple of questions, I think one by Padmaji, and I also wanted to raise one question for our contemplation. So we can begin with the questions also. Is there a preference?
Perfect. Questions.
Questions first. Okay. Questions are thrilling.
Yeah, let's go with questions.
Excellent. Yeah. So you see, that is how one of the main teaching approach of realized masters is to put a right question and then leave the search to us. So Ramana just ask the question, who am I? And then the quest continues. All right. So let's begin with the Padmaji's question first.
Okay. Okay. This is something which came up yesterday. It's something personal. Without going into any personal details, what I want to, what my question was, that a little bit of background, like some situation comes in front of you, and somebody is in trouble, and previously, when that situation came up, I was the first one to volunteer and call that such and such person, and offer whatever I could. I did in that situation, whatever best I could do. And initially, I was getting some response from the other side, but after that they crossed the situation. What happened is, they did not respond to my calls. Actually, there is no communication whatsoever for the last 5 years, something like that, after that situation happened. Okay, no even hi, how are you, that kind of situation. Now after 5 years, those people are undergoing the same kind of exact situation has come into their life, and this time also, but this time also they did not contact me directly, but through somebody I got to know that that same situation is replaying in their life. So this time again, as everybody knows, I'm a Baba follower. I keep sharing a lot of status, and today's status that I have shared, or what the message that I received is, you be in love. One second, let me just get that thing out if somebody has not read it. So it said something like this: I am love, the cosmos is love, all of creation is love. Never give up on love. Even if you keep receiving hate in return, you please make sure that you continue to love. Love is empowering, love is healing. It will change the strong hatred into itself, which is love. Okay, so keep loving, child. That's what is today's whatever message. And I try to kind of imbibe these things into my life, in my practical life, as far as possible, to the extent which is understandable to me and relatable. So my question from yesterday is, should I go, and this time also I should take the lead and contact this person, or has this situation come to me again to ask me, have you learned anything from the last experience, or you are going to do the same thing again this time? Even if you're, because how I am trying to rationalize this situation is, last time when I approached, it was out of whatever, there was no hidden agenda, or I'm not going to get anything out of it. I just volunteered because I thought somebody is in pain and I cannot do much, but whatever I can do, I will do. However, after the response stopped coming from the other side, I also read something told by Buddha that if somebody, you go to contact somebody and they don't want to be in touch with you, never ever disturb them again. That is also something. I mean, both are great masters, if you see. So for me, I don't separate it like that. But what my question now was, should I even go and contact them, or I should just leave it, because anyway it didn't come directly to me. Why should I act upon somebody else letting me know that they are in the same situation? And last time they didn't want contact with me. That's why 5 years went by without any contact, is how I was looking at it. But I just wanted other people's opinion also. Like, okay, what would you do if you were in a situation like this?
So before we begin, can we frame the question this way? Please see if it makes sense. So your question is, there is a situation in somebody's life that you become aware of, that you feel you can help, but the others, whoever that is not necessarily in the receiving mode. They haven't necessarily come and asked you for help. So what should your action be? Is that your question?
Also, I have undergone a past experience, similar experience.
Sure.
So that is also the base.
Correct.
It is not a new experience.
Correct. In the past also, they have not sought your help. Currently also.
No, past also they did not sought, but I approached and I helped, thinking that is the best course of action.
Yeah.
But this time I am also not very keen, because I went through something like that, and I know that it is of no value to them. It's something I have realized. So I am asking, like.
Yeah. So when somebody is not necessarily seeking, but you know you can help, what should you?
No, I don't know, sir. I don't know if I can help this time. Because if somebody is not even calling you, what you will do?
Sure, that's a separate thing. But in terms of the, if at all they were to come to you, you could have offered help. That is what you are saying.
Yeah, correct.
So therefore, right now the question is, should I help or not help? What should the course of action be? That's the question.
Yeah. And also one more thing is, the rest of the family doesn't feel that I should help it. This is my issue, which is happening. The rest of the family is very clear that, 5 years they have not contacted you. Why you want to go there at all? Something like that. Because it's not anyway come to us directly, right?
Fair.
It is through so and so you got to know.
Fair. All right. So let's frame the question this way, that others are not necessarily seeking your help, but you can offer some help to whatever their situation is. What should the approach be? What can one do? What is the guidance from our Gita or Tattva Bodha is the question. Who wants to begin?
The tradition is Sarvanji begins usually.
No, you have spoken, so you can also say.
Now let me think if somebody can speak in between.
Okay.
So I would start with, is there the other? Okay, so when you said like when you put the views from the other point of view, they did not tell you any of that. So in the absence of that, are we not thinking from their point of view, saying like, maybe this is what is happening, but you can never be sure of what happened there? Is that?
No, I don't get it. What you are saying?
So you said the person does not want to reach out to you, and right? And
because 5 years there is no contact, Saravanan, from them. Like that.
So in the absence of that, like you can only make up, you can only think from your own point of view, saying that maybe because they don't want to reach out, they don't want me to to help them?
No, they did not contact me at all.
Yeah.
So if you are not in, say, if you and I also tomorrow, if you are not in touch with me, I wouldn't first of all get to know about you itself. Okay, because you are not telling me anything. You are not even in contact with me. Same goes for me also. You are also not aware anything about me. That is how the situation has been. So now, say Prakash ji is a common friend for us. Somewhere you mentioned it to Prakash ji, and Prakash ji in some conversation brought it up that, oh, you know, Saravanan ji is going through this. Okay. So my question is, if I'm not speaking to you for 5 years, will I call you and say, Saravanan ji, you are in this, I got to know from this person. Should I do that? Or I should say, okay, Saravanan ji has this problem. If he wanted, he could have come to me, like that.
So there itself, I see that there are two parts. One is, if you did not come to know, you didn't know. Now you came to know. So now you know. After knowing, you can again have this, take these two paths. Okay. I will wait for someone to ask, or I will wait for the person to ask to take the first step, or I'm not going to take the first step. Okay. To me, I feel like every incident that shows up in our screen is like something that is coming for a particular reason.
True.
Right, and it is invoking your own understanding of the system to see like how you want to react, and like I'm sure like we don't have to fear whether if we do this we will go wrong, or if we do otherwise, or like we should do this. I think that fear should not be there, but more from the point of view that knowing this, and if somebody is not in a state to ask, can I just like make a call to see like how they are, and if they don't pick up the call, that's different. And maybe that you call and say like, thanks a lot that you called me even after all these things. That's it. What will you do?
Okay.
Right. So I feel like for that matter, like every incident that makes one like happy or not so happy, everything is coming in the screen for a reason, like to basically I feel like to see to indicate our I don't want to say weaknesses. It's like
to test us, maybe.
I don't want to say test also, but then like you are always thinking, okay, there is like I will always get a test every minute, and that's a fear, like whether I will pass or fail, right? I don't want to go that way. So they say, right, when you are in the witness mode, okay, you don't get attracted or rejected to two things that come in your screen. I'm just saying like screen in the sense like whatever happens, whatever incident that's happening in front, right? But what happens is right now, I do get attracted to something. I don't get, or like I try to run away from some things, right? But which basically means like that raga dvesha is still there, and I have not reached the witness state of where seeing things as is. Right now, until I reach that state, okay, now if you are aware, then like you know that, you know what, I get attracted. That means getting attracted towards something means there is still that understanding of that I'm complete, I don't need anything, is I feel is lacking still, right? Otherwise, because we don't get attracted to everything, right? So for many things, I am in a witness mode, but for some things, I get attracted, which I see it as a weakness. Okay, right. So that means there is a weakness in that, right? Now, similarly, if I take that to this instant, now like incident comes in front, I can try to be in, I can be in witness state. Okay, so, saying, okay. Right? But then the witness state should happen without all this background thought saying, that time I did this, but I did not get response. Then I should I do? If that is coming, that means like there is a judgment going on, right? And judgment, the moment judgment is going on, then we are not in the witness mode. Not inaction
true.
without a judgment, I would say like a witness state. But with the judgment, then like you are trying to figure out where you are, right?
That is true. I agree completely what you're saying. But my thing is, you don't have to dwell in the past, but then the learning from the past experience has to add some value to your present. No, it has definitely touched. Some
Okay.
value is added, right?
Okay.
So
I
what
will
do
give you
you
answer
do
in the
with that?
another point of
So
view.
what do you do with that is my thing.
Okay. So the second approach to the question is, with all this jnana, we say that only the present moment is the only thing that is true. Okay. Past is actually you cannot compare because all the characters are gone. You, including you of that minus 5 years, or you are not the same today, and including that person is not the same today.
Correct.
That is that T minus 5 years is gone completely, and what you are today right now is the only truth. Okay. So when you have to approach only right now today, what is the right thing? What is that you will do? I would put this as the second approach. If you believe in being here and now, is in the present moment is the truth, then because
I will
the worries
think what
come,
I can do here and now.
yeah, the worries come from going and introspecting. Okay, this is what it is in the past, this is how it is. If I do this in future, will this happen? Which both are we what we understand, what we have read is not are the ones that actually being played out by the mind to trap you, right? And the freedom comes from getting away, cutting the ropes to that past and the future, imaginary future, which is not there yet.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Very nice. Who likes to go next?
Yeah, I will stop. I will wait for others.
I want to know what Shubhaji also thinks, because she had a question similar to this yesterday.
Yeah. Now let everyone share. Shubhaji,
Yeah.
by popular demand.
She's that one sentence guru, no sir. She
One-liner
will
punch.
always say
She is,
powerful punch.
She is our Mahavakya guru.
Now I am under tremendous pressure.
I have to start writing down.
Too much pressure. No,
It will get recorded.
I will.
by
Sorry?
Ramanuji.
Oh yeah.
Get
It is
recorded by
getting
Ramanuji.
recorded, Prakashji, anyway.
Okay. See, my approach usually is I don't get involved in others' things. The same way I don't like others getting involved in my affairs. That is my motto. But if someone is coming, what Saravanan-ji put it as, we should think at this moment what I can do. So when I think of that, I would say if they didn't come and tell me, that means they are not expecting anything from me, nor they want me to get involved in this. So that way I would just stay away. But definitely I will keep them in my prayer, saying that whatever they are going through, let God help them in solving their issue. So that would be my approach.
So you are still keeping Dvaita.
That was the Mahavakya, Saravanan-ji. One sentence.
Yeah, I got it.
We both were discussing it for 15 minutes. No, in one way, I agree to what she also said. Like if somebody, say, if I don't come and tell you what's going on with me, There is no way of you knowing it, right? And
Yeah.
I may not go and tell it to everybody. I may choose that, okay, it is safe, or in whatever way, my thought process might be different to say it to you and maybe not say it to someone else. That could be a
Comfort
choice
factor
also I am making, no?
Yeah. A person who is going through the problem also, a comfort factor, they may not want everyone to know about it.
Correct, yeah.
But my point is here, all these answers are our own concept, that like we are thinking maybe that they are not comfortable.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, they
Right?
may not, sometimes they may not be going through the problem at all. It is our
No, so
own
you don't have
perception.
to call and say like, I want to solve your problem.
Exactly.
But-
We shouldn't get.
Yeah, yeah.
That is my
But
point.
you can still since it came into your awareness, okay, you can always make a call to confirm, right? And you are not
No,
going
but
to
Saravanan,
lose
yes, I'll
anything.
tell you.
You are not going to lose anything.
No, but
I-
say you do the call and then they ask you, who told you all this?
No,
Who told you all this? I didn't tell you. Who told you all this? You know, there is that factor. Like
again, that
somebody
also
tell you,
like
it becomes like a gossip also, no? Like somebody came and told you, and then now you are checking on me, something like that. If I wanted help, could I not have reached out to you? I have your number, something like that also can come up, is what I'm saying. That is
But
why
again,
I told you, like, is it a test coming back to me? Because it's
Yeah,
a similar
feel,
situation they are going through. And I did exactly what you said 5 years back. Even without Tattva Bodha, I did it that time.
no, that is over.
You can use
leave
the
that
healing
past. Again, I would say like, we have cut the rope. So you are not going to take that and like decide now. Okay. So I feel when I have to decide on something, all these days I'm questioning myself, like all the points and the counterpoints which I keep getting is my own. Again, my mind is throwing all these things, and it is not necessary that any of them is right. Right. So
But you wanted to say something more.
Yeah, Shubha.
Me.
I thought you were saying something more.
Yeah,
Actually, Padmaji can use her healing powers, right? That can be your option too.
Yeah.
Without getting
Definitely.
involved, any day we can just think of good for them, and that energy can transform, and the things can happen in their way.
But for her to use her healing power, she needs an acknowledgement that they're ready to.
I need a permission. I cannot just unless it is animals or plants, I cannot just intervene like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
See,
nice.
general prayer I
of-
can put.
power of
General
prayer.
prayer I can put. Yeah.
Yes. Power of prayer is always there.
Yeah, definitely.
What is
What we
Rupaji's?
can do,
Yeah,
what we
please
can do,
complete.
we can definitely do. Then rest of it, it's not in our hands. But the energy, when we think good for somebody, that definitely happens. The healing does happen.
Yeah.
Very nice. Rupaji, your guidance?
Yeah, I feel one who wants help, they should seek it. Unless they seek, if we go and help, it may not be of any value to them. They may not value the person. And this happens in Mahabharata also, no? When Draupadi is in trouble, Krishna comes only when she asks for help. She calls out his name, and only then he comes.
Very nice. So unless asked, keep quiet. But do you recommend what Shubhaji is suggesting? Keep in the prayer.
Yes, that should be done. See, when we are passing on the road also, when something happens, we can go and help them. But as Padmaji said, there are a few limitations, like They may ask you who told you, that may come under gossip and all. I think she can wait for them to approach her.
Thanks, Rupaji. Yeah.
Welcome.
Prakash ji?
I think I agree with what Rupaji is saying. To be very clear here, Padmaji is feeling guilty is only because the love she has for them or for him or her. But the reality is she has done it already once. So as Einstein said, right, the insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So therefore, it really has no meaning when they are not asking and you only voluntarily going and seeking and offering them help because they don't need it. So I think there is really no point. And I mean, this is the whole story of Mahabharata, isn't it?
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Which part of the story in Mahabharata you're referring, Prakash ji?
No, see, there are many people who went and convinced Duryodhana to do what is right, but he didn't listen. So really, there is no point in going and convincing again and again and again. So there are certain things you need to be hard. So I mean, this is the whole point of the whole conversation of Bhagavad Gita, right? He is trying to convince Arjuna that the war is the only solution. There is no other go. I mean, I'm not telling war here, but all I'm saying is there is no point in feeling guilty about this because there is nothing can be done about it.
Yeah, like
sorry if I'm
Saravanan
confusing
said,
you more, the Padmaji, but
no. It is perfectly all right, Prakash ji. Actually, like what Saravanan is saying is one aspect, because it came into my awareness only. I am even thinking about it. Okay, but what you are saying and Rupaji is saying and what Shubha said, that is what I was identifying with more. Okay, still I wanted to know if I'm on the right track. That is why I got this question here itself, because I thought, okay, my experience is more reflecting on the situation rather than focusing on the situation itself, is what I thought at one point. That is why I thought, okay, I will have an unbiased view where nobody knows much in detail about anything, so they will have a open view, something different view from mine. But I see that three of you have resonated with how I was thinking. That's how I am thinking now, like, okay, not so much in the wrong direction. My approach was correct, is what I thought.
So prayer is fine. I mean, as Shubhaji mentioned, because that will purify you. But nothing else can be done in this situation.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Prakash.
I have one more view. Okay, before that, I will quote what was discussed yesterday with the scorpion thing. If your nature is helping, it does not. You are not going to wait for how the other people are going to respond to these things. To how, like, you may help thousands of people, and like each one may respond in different ways. It's like if you throw something, depending on the surface, it will come back. It will come back in different. If it's a hard surface, it will come back very fast. If it's a soft one, it may go. But the point is, that defines your nature. Okay. And the second part is, I always feel what I feel is right should always happen irrespective of how it is being received, because I should not let the other person change me in what I feel I am. I feel strongly. Okay. The moment you let the other people shape you by with their interaction, then, like, who are you then? What is your true nature? Your true nature is going. Your nature is going to be a variable then.
No, what you say. No, what you say, I understand. But the same example, if I have to give you back, if you throw on the hard surface, if it comes and hits you on your head, okay, Next time you will not throw the ball on the hard surface. Either you will not throw it, or you might throw it very softly, knowing that it's going to come back and hit you only. Right? So that is what I'm asking here. See, if I was first time I'm throwing at the hard surface, I might not know the impact, that it might come and hit me. Okay.
But
But
here
I have
it will-
already, no, I've already gone through it. That I cannot
Okay.
change, no, Saravanan.
Okay, let me then ask
what
you.
you're saying is correct. See, past is gone. T-5, I was different. T-5, they were different. Okay. But T+5, there is no communication at all. So somewhere I believe that I am not wanted in their life, right? Otherwise, you will have some contact, right? Some contact somewhere. If that is not there, and like I have got to know something through somebody, is it really right? Like tomorrow, if I am in such a situation, like so Shubhaji said, I may not like somebody coming and interfering in my life because somebody else told them that I'm going through this. I have not told them, but somebody else has told, okay, Padma is going through this. And if they come and ask me, I will, sometime I can take it in a wrong way and think, oh, see, this is all gossip. Somebody told and they want to know, they want to confirm whether it's true or not. They may not even think that I'm coming to them because I want to help them or anything like that. You know, and in that sense, even if I offer help and it might be genuine, they might not even believe it to be genuine and they might reject it even afterwards. All you are saying is you should not have that fear of rejection and you should go and approach. Okay. But I myself am not changing. Okay. I am myself having that thought, should I even go this time? That is why that question came here. Okay. Because T-5, I would have done exactly what you said, and I actually did it, what you said. Okay. Because that time I had, even though without even Tattva Bodha, I had the little bit of sense that, okay, you know, they are in trouble. So that is the natural thing for me to do. Okay. But what I feel is now with all this, with knowing that all about karma and everything, then I feel that something that has to come to you will come to you directly. It will not come through other sources. Like that, there are many things about the world that you come to know because of whatever is going on. But essentially, we can't help everyone. The same scorpion
But
story that you are referring
there is
to,
a
Shubha's
there-
question came from that story only, when she asked Sir, you know, that
So
are you trying to tell me that even in real life, if a scorpion keeps biting, will you keep tolerating it? She asked that question only yesterday after that whole story, I remember.
so here
And that
also,
time,
hmm,
no, Sir had one answer which I felt was very apt. It changes from situation to situation. There, the scorpion's level of consciousness and the guru's level of consciousness is not same. The scorpion didn't understand that, you know, he is trying to help me and I should not hit him. I mean, I should not bite him. That is its nature, it did. So the Guruji gave an explanation like that. But would he have reacted in the same way had it been his disciple or somebody? He would have definitely tried to educate that person, because then that level of understanding, that consciousness will be different compared to a scorpion, is what I thought.
Priyaji has joined us. Hari Om, Priyaji.
there you go, Priyaji.
Hari Om, Priyaji.
Hari Om, Priyaji.
So again, so as you said, many people may need help. Right? For example, yes, there is a war going on in Russia. They are not coming in your awareness where like you are thinking about them right now. You may more generally, you may see it as a much gross view that like that region has a problem. I hope like they will settle down and they will be good. In this
only
case,
you can pray. You cannot go there and do anything.
so that is at a very gross level you are seeing it. Here it is at a very fine level. That consciousness has come. So and so X person. Okay. Now the point is, if the answer was very clear, okay, you would have just left it. Okay, but the point that it is still hanging in your awareness scene, that means like you are still finding it, you are still not sure whether to let it go, or like you have to address it, right? And that is basically, I would say, has pulled you into samsara. Tomorrow you are going to look at everyone. Okay, I'm going to help this person. Is he going to respond? Okay, no. Okay, I will ignore this, skip this guy. Next person, right? So now it adds unnecessary extra load on you to basically perceive the world on a day-to-day, minute-by-minute basis. Right? The freedom for me will be like, you know what? Hey, I could do this. Okay, I did this and walk away. Okay, and knowing that, okay, if it has helped, I hope it has helped, and I'm not going to wait to see how the other person is going to respond. And that way, I think I am free. I will be free. I'm not having that expectation tying me to each and every activity. Right. So at the end of the day, mind. See, the thing is, this one incident has pulled so much of your conscious attention into this, right? If it was a non-issue, it would have like come to your awareness and it would have gone. Basically, that I would have said, like, you were in a witness state. Okay, you didn't do it. You didn't react. You didn't.
See, but what there is one difference here is I have not been thinking about this incident for 5 years. I did whatever had to be done T-5 years ago, and all I am saying is, after that there is no point of contact. I was not thinking why they didn't contact me, or I did this for them but they did not respond. That is not the thought process at all. It is just that something similar is happening again in their life. So should I, and it's not come directly to me, should I go or not? That's the only question. See, even tomorrow, if I decide not to help also, there is no nothing there. Like Shubha said, I will just offer one very sincere, genuine prayer, and I can continue to do it till somebody else says this, or it can be an everyday thing also, just like I do for a lot of us. So that can be a process, is what I feel. I am not necessarily brooding over it. That I should help. It is not naturally coming to me this time. So I feel that somewhere all this knowledge that we have acquired is trying to give me a second choice, is what I feel. So which choice should I exercise? That is all I am thinking about now. Because I think one clarity that has come with all this is all this is, see, no matter what we do, there is only an extent to which we can do anything. After that, it is not in our control. It's like that once we leave that arrow, where it goes and hit, how strongly it goes and hit, we have no control over it, right? So that is something I am trying to implement in my life now. That picture which sir showed, some arrows at your back, some on your bow, and one that has already left. There is nothing you can do about it. So that T-5 is that arrow that has gone. It has hit wherever it has supposed to hit. Now I am having that arrow. Should I really fire it or not is my thing now. Okay, because it is like, see, there is no target for me actually to hit, right? If you see it from that perspective, there is no target for me to hit there, because that target itself is not there, is what I'm saying.
Padmaji, there are two levels at which you can consider. The first is a question for you to consider. How should I choose any action at any point of time? What is the outcome that I should be looking for from that action? In any action, what is the outcome I should be looking for?
It should be of some help.
Now, what does it mean to me? So at the end of the day, when I perform any particular action, say for example, somebody says, give me water. Somebody says, give me pen. Somebody says that go away. Somebody says that talk to me. Whatever, in any particular situation, there's an action that you need to perform. So what I should have in the mind about what is the outcome that I should have, or I should look at.
Okay,
So that
when
I
I
am
think,
freedom.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
So
please go
what does freedom mean to me when I'm performing action?
ahead. I just do what is needed and then move on. That's all.
That's all. And what is the impression it leaves in me? When you do such a thing, you just do it and you move on. What does it leave in me?
Nothing. It should not leave
Nothing.
anything. Nothing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what is the overall feeling that is staying with me?
I have done what is to be done. Nothing less, nothing more.
Nothing less, nothing more. Am I disturbed or am I peaceful?
I should be peaceful, definitely.
When I perform that action, I am peaceful. Am I happy or am I sad?
Nothing. There should be neither, because I have just done what is supposed to be done.
Correct. My sense of whatever that feeling of satisfaction, that continues, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So any particular situation, whatever may be the type of the action, if the action lets me be happy, healthy, peaceful, can I say that is a dharmic action?
Yes.
That is in accordance with dharma?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's the general guidance. So
To do anything.
yeah, in anything, is it in accord? See, when Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, as long as you are in accordance with dharma, you are liberated. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. What does it mean? It means that when your action is in accordance with dharma, means what? Universal law. What does it mean in any particular situation? What does universal law really mean? It means acting according to the situation's appropriate wholesomeness. So now sometimes the wholesomeness may not be visible. Like you rightly said, it all depends upon from what point I am acting. Am I at the bottom of the hill, middle of the hill, top of the hill, or above the hill? It all depends upon that. However, wherever I am, can I take a simple guidance that if that particular action, the outcome of that is, I feel satisfied, that there is no feeling of, let's say, sadness or some guilt. Disturbance, yeah, whatever, I can give various names, labels to it, but as long as it leaves me satisfied that, that the best that was possible was done, and that's about it. Can we call that is the right action?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah. So therefore, the very idea of right and wrong, in terms of our social constructs, need not have to be thought about. It is right and wrong at the end of the day only to you.
Correct.
The only person who has the question is you, and the only person who has to find the solution is you.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only person
Question and answer both is to me only.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. And you can feel disturbed by your actions. You can feel completely satisfied by your action. So what is that is causing the disturbance in any situation? And like we going back to our yesterday's shloka, enjoyership and doership. What is the enjoyership? Enjoyership is all about fruit of the action.
Correct.
So when I'm performing an action, I have an aim, and there is a fruit of that action. It can be either success or failure. So either, like Krishna says, give up your attachment to success or failure. You just do according to the current situation that you feel is the best. At any point of time, you can only do your best based on your own understanding, based on your own jnana. Nothing more you can do. If I'm a little child and if I see fire, I feel attracted, I go put my hand. That's the best I could do because that's all the knowledge I had. Nothing less, nothing more. I cannot keep on now brooding over the point that, oh, I kept my hand and I burned my hand, I kept my hand, I burned my hand. That's all I could do. At that point in time, that's all the jnana I had. Okay. So therefore, at any point of time, when any action is being performed, see, for example, somebody is lying on the road and there is a vehicle that has hit them and you see the blood is oozing out. Will you rush and help? You may not, because you don't know whether the person is injured in a way that, if you help, let's say, for example, what does help mean? I want to lift.
You might cause more damage.
Right? So, is there a possibility of help? Certainly. What is that? Calling ambulance.
Ambulance, yeah.
So, help need not necessarily be, I have to personally go and lift that person. So, the nature of the help is where we may have a clarity that is needed. What is the nature of the help? I always feel that I have to use my body and mind, I have to lift that person. Not necessary. I am not the right kind of a doctor to go and lift. So I call the right expert to lift. So that is also help. I calling an ambulance is also help. And that's what I felt I can do in that particular situation. Therefore, according to the situation, the nature of the action can change. But the intent, the feeling, that is genuine. That, and if nothing more can be done, Krishna, please help, can be the most genuine help.
Yeah.
So therefore, any action that leaves me with a sense of satisfaction, that, that is the best I could do, and that's about it. I have done. May everything else be Krishna Arpanamastu. Leaves me completely detached from the outcome, the enjoyership. Okay. Now comes the doership. What is the doership? What is that I need to do? I need not have to do anything actually. What is that I am really doing there? What is that I'm really doing there? Let's say even when I'm calling for ambulance, all I'm doing is just passing a message. Even that, am I doing? So like that, the current Tattva Jnana, Tattva Bodha Jnana and the Bhagavad Gita can help me go deeper into what is really doership.
Correct.
So therefore, I am in freedom. See, the most important thing is whatever I am doing, at the end of the day, I don't know whether it is helping somebody else or not. At least I should be in freedom now. Meaning what?
Correct.
I should be happy, healthy, peaceful now with that action or with whatever that is being done, whatever that is happening. When my mind gets into discussion about a particular situation is when I have all these conflicts. So therefore, Shri Krishna said to Arjuna, Arjuna, have no conflict in the mind. How to get rid of the conflict in the mind? Give up your enjoyership. That is your first catch in life. You're attached to outcome. Give up your outcome. Give up your attachment to outcome. Or the same thing can be said in another way. Accept both outcomes, success or failure. Both are possible outcomes in any game. When you toss a coin, head or tail. Accept both as they come. Then also you will be in total freedom. So therefore, he removed his attachment to enjoyership. Either by saying, I don't really worry about success or failure, or by saying, I accept both success or failure. There is a enjoyership cutting the enjoyership. Then later he teaches us doership. Who is really the doer? Prakritehe kriyamanani. So he teaches there, it is the Prakriti, the Rajo, Tamo, and the Sattva Guna. The combination is what is doing. Prakriti is doing. You, as consciousness, you are the watcher. So therefore, he helps you to be in freedom in even doing. Then there is another way of looking at that doing, which is a very simple and practical way. See, for example, you love doing something, Padmaji. You love doing something. Okay. How do you feel when you're doing that? Do you
Total
feel
involvement.
Total involvement, right?
Yeah.
Do you really care whether somebody comes and claps for you?
No.
You
do it for the love of doing it.
For the love of doing it. And when you're doing it, if let's say some obstacle comes your way, will you just give up?
No.
What will you do?
And try to overcome it.
So let me throw a practical situation. So let's say, for example, there is a train, and you booked your ticket, and some three very hefty gunda-looking people are sitting in your seat. So now, how will you solve that situation?
No, I will just request them to move.
Okay, they are not willing to listen to your request.
Then I'll find some other option.
Tell me, what will you find?
Maybe I will look for another seat, or maybe I'll go and sit in
train
their
is full.
seat.
The train is full. Yeah, this is the only seat you had, and they are occupying your seat. And you
I
have.
can approach somebody who can help me. Say TC might help, or even if a TC is not willing to help, maybe I'll contact the police who can do something. Or in worst case, I might just stand and travel, because my point is to go from A to B in that train. So
No,
I can do it in any
you
way.
have your old mother, who cannot stand. She's already shaking.
Or you can request somebody else to
Right.
help you.
So like that, when you have a intent, you will find different
Ways.
approaches, right?
Mm.
So how did all of this come? If you start getting into discussion in your mind, Ayo Rama, look at those people, they look like gundas. If I reach out to them, they may hit me. So let me just keep quiet. If all the discussion is happening, you will be feeling very tired, very angry and upset. Internally, you are baking, but
Yeah.
you feel helplessness. Is that even a sense of completeness for you in that situation?
No.
So whatever that helps you to become that peaceful, okay, this is the best I could have done. So that sense of completeness, because the discussion is in the mind. At the end of the day, if there is no discussion, like Saravanji said, then there is no discussion at all. If there is no conflict, there is no discussion at all.
Correct.
It is like, have you seen that movie Life of Pi?
Yeah. Yes.
There's a very wonderful scene at the very end of the movie. At the very end of the movie, they come to the shore, and this guy, who is that Patel? What's his name in the movie?
Yeah, he's so happy.
What's his name? I forget his name in the movie.
Jay?
Huh?
Jay.
What?
Jay, right?
No. In the movie, what's that person's name? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't remember.
So he's now become one great friend with that tiger. Tiger also is a friend with him. And when it comes to the shore, the tiger will look back at him and then say thank you, and lick him. All that expectations he has. So that is the most poignant moment I felt. They are at the shore, and the tiger just comes out, stretches, just walks into the jungle. Just walks into the jungle, and he's left wondering. I felt at that moment the tiger would look back at me and say thank you. But later I realized that that's also process of life.
Yeah.
The sun god who comes is never waiting for me to say thanks. The wind that is blowing is never waiting for me to say thanks. So therefore, it all looks like, based on the, like you rightly said, at what level I'm standing, I can take different choices. But any choice I take, doesn't matter what choice I take, that should leave me complete. That should leave me conflict-free. That should leave me feeling the sense of happy, healthy, and peaceful.
Yeah.
So therefore, saying all this, Krishna, he did one major trick at the end of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, now I've given all that is there. What do you want to do? It's up to you now. You choose. Because Krishna cannot be choosing for Arjuna. So, you heard all the Krishna's Vakyas from various gurus here today. Our Mahavakya Guru, our Saravanan Guru, Prakash Guru, all of them have said what they have said. Because through them, existence is only speaking to you. Through the filter of their mind, existence is only speaking to you. So now it's for you to see Sometimes existence doesn't speak in human voice. Sometimes it just speaks in the form of some pain. Sometimes it speaks in the form of some sensation of joy. Sometimes it speaks to you in, like you rightly put it, in the form of that situation comes again and again, again and again, again and again. So that until you make peace with that situation, until you are completely in harmony with that situation comes back to help you aid to evolve. So therefore, there is no right or wrong. It is a, what is that makes you feel sense of completeness, to be in harmony.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
At the end, the screen has to become full white. The movie has to disappear. Right now, we are seeing movies and like we will react, right? And when I can go beyond the movie and just see the screen, right there, done. It doesn't affect.
So that kind of brings us to the next question, that I wanted us to consider and discuss. The question is, does knowing the jnana intellectually, like how, let's say, our approach has been here through Bhagavad Gita contemplation or Tattva Bodha contemplation, see, it is something that, we are kind of understanding using our intellect, our usual way of understanding, isn't it? So does this way of understanding at all really help? So is there a difference between intellectually knowing about the self-realization, which is what the focus of Tattva Bodha is, versus something called as a experientially knowing? That is the question. Is the question clear? Is there a difference
Right.
between intellectually knowing versus experientially knowing?
Yeah.
Are they two different approaches? Are they complementary, non-complementary? They don't go with each other. So what are the different views? Rupaji, Prakashji, is the question clear? Priyaji?
I'll just
Can you repeat it?
Yeah.
Sorry, who spoke? Rupaji, was that you?
No, Vishayji.
Can you repeat it?
Oh, Padmaji. Okay. Padmaji, the question is the self-realization or the jnana about you. So right now we are learning that through Tattva Bodha. We are learning through Bhagavad Gita. And what is the mechanism we have used? To sit and contemplate. We take a shloka and we discuss. We look at it from various viewpoints, various lenses, so to say. So therefore the question is, there's an intellectual way of knowing, because right now when Krishna says that I am in all and all are in me. Okay, so there is a mind which has this intellect, and there's a process of understanding that we employ. Oh, this is what it means. So we are understanding. So there is a kind of a intellectual way of knowing it. So this is the intellectual way of knowing about self-realization. Then there is experiential way of knowing self-realization. Like it is said in some stories, no? Some guru was walking and tadang, something happened, suddenly they felt one with everything, and then that transformed their life, and they celebrate, no? Buddha Purnima. What is Buddha Purnima? The day Buddha got enlightened. So it is made to feel like it's an event. There is something that is tadang has to happen. Some light has to appear. Enlightenment, right? Suddenly they'll be walking around with a halo. So it is made to feel as if like a experience and an event that happens. Just like how you say, I went to Saravana Bhavan and I ate, what a nice meal. So it's an experience, it's an event. So the question is there a difference between intellectually knowing and it being an experience? Are they complementary? Are they two different? Is one not necessary? Say intellectual way is not necessary, or experience is not necessary? That is a question. Is the question clear now, Padmaji?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to understand it more.
Yeah, sure. So we haven't heard Priyaji so far today. Let's listen to her voice. Priyaji, are you in a position to speak, or?
I think she messaged saying she can't speak. She's outside.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Okay, in the group she has put, for me, experience speaks more. Okay. No need to be sorry, Priyaji. The best thing not to do about all the sorry and thank you, keep a bag. Every time you're sorry or thank you, put a chocolate there and go and distribute it. That way it will be really nice. Okay, all right. At least we'll get a chocolate. By the way, I like a dark chocolate, so you can put some dark chocolates there. All right. So, okay, who wants to go next? Prakashji, Rupaji, and our Mahavakya Guru.
I felt I use my intellect to correct my experience every time.
Wow, very nice. So they're not opposite approaches, but they are complementary approaches.
Yeah, my intellect gets polished with that experience is what I feel.
And it continues to be.
Yes.
So are you saying that self-realization is primarily through the instrument of intellect?
Yeah, we should use the jnana, right? Every time. See, possibly my jnana 4 years back may be different from the jnana I have now. So the experience 4 years back may be different from the experience I will have now. So the approach to a problem 4 years back may be different from the approach I will have today. So with the jnana what I have today, I may have a better experience today.
I see the question in a different way. It's the same jnana. You want to believe in theory, or you want to experience it to accept it. Like in a materialistic world, we read the chemistry in theory, and then like in the lab you go and do it to say that, oh yes, it is true. Right? It is not the application of that jnana we're talking about, that very essence what you accepted it through theory. Do you need the experience of that, or that knowing itself is enough? That's how I interpret the question.
Okay. So Shubhaji's point is, intellect is the one which is making decisions, and decision it is making based on the jnana, and based on the decision I make, the quality of the experience changes. So therefore, knowing is helping to refine the experience itself. Is that the right way you put it? Is that what you put, Shubhaji?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there something more that you would like to add there?
Right now, no. But when I get
Sure.
Yeah. Well.
Rupaji, your view?
I agree with Saravananji. Experience is different than just knowing it.
So then knowing is not useful. Is that how it is?
No. Knowing would help us.
In what way?
Knowing would help us in applying it to experience it. When we want to experience something, or when we are experiencing something, we can see that what I have heard is true. And, we'll be experiencing what we know when we experience it.
See, for example, as a baby, you went and put your hand to the fire and it got burnt. Experience happened. There was no knowledge that it will burn. Now knowledge is happening that, oh, if I put hand there, it will burn. So here experience came first and knowledge came later.
Oh, yeah.
So is there a linear connection? First this and then this.
When I experience it, I will know it later. No, Vijayji.
Okay, so now for example, self-realization. Somebody says self-realization is like you see in that sun, so bright, much brighter than that. And they will use some poetic words. It's much brighter than that. You know what is happiness of, let's say, eating a wonderful mango? Oh, self-realization is not, it's much bigger. It's something that you cannot even describe. So now what is that, you are thinking about it? What is that you start imagining about it? What is that you are seeking now? Oh, it is like one mango. Is it like eating 10 mangoes? Is it like eating 100 mangoes? Oh, it is one bulb. Is it like 100 bulbs? Oh, will there be light in front of me? What does it really mean? So knowledge here has also led to a certain imagination, no?
Yeah, it will be very vague.
So then how do you know that, you're already not enlightened?
Can you say that again? Can you ask that question again?
Yeah. How do you know? How do you know that you're not already enlightened? Because, at the end of the day, self-realization means what?
Being free, aware of myself.
What does it mean to Rupaji?
Self-realization. Yeah, as a knowing our true self and being happy and feeling the bliss.
Feeling the bliss. Okay. So now you need to feel the bliss. So how do you know you're not already blissful? How do you know what this moment, whatever you're feeling, if that is not bliss? So in this case, knowledge has led to seeking an experience that is don't know exactly how to define. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So therefore, using this line of thinking or reasoning, it feels like intellectually knowing actually has caused some concept in the mind, which is, I don't know exactly what it is. Whereas experience-led approach, child went and burned the hand. Oh, it burned the hand. What is this? I burned the hand. It asked some people, this is called burning. Then it created a knowledge that, okay, when you keep your hand, it is called burning.
Is the question again?
Yeah. Good, Pranaji.
Is the question again that one has to wait for experience or the intellectual understanding should help identify.
No, I'm just giving you a contradictory example where knowledge has led to a concept. No, see, you've known, okay, you've heard self-realization, Jivan Mukti. So now what it has created in the mind, some concept, some imagination. Now, there is no way to verify this imagination. I don't know what is self-realization really is. For the first time, I'm hearing the term.
No, but we have gone through the theoretical definition, or like what it is, it means, and if one can.
So then I'm constantly in a comparison mode. Am I right now feeling deeply peaceful? Am I peaceful? Am I peaceful? Am I peaceful? Am I happy? Am I blissful? Okay, is this happiness or is this bliss? I don't know. Okay, am I feeling now prema or love? Prema or love? Is it prema or love? Is it unconditional love or is it conditional love?
No.
Am I eating this? Am I talking to them because I have a love, or is it prema?
But we know that it is that state where all these questions stop actually. If I am asking, that means like I'm not there. Right? One internally,
so
the question stops.
A small baby also doesn't ask all these questions. So then can you say that it is enlightened baby? Or, I'm just using, please don't take it in that way, but say somebody who doesn't like to ask any questions. Sumne, what is in life? Sumne is there. Okay, whatever happens, Sumne is there in life. Like something.
Yeah,
Okay, he is also not asking any questions. Ignorance is bliss. See, till I didn't know about self-realization, that was one kind of bliss. Now that I've come to know about self-realization, there is bigger problem with bliss. Now I'm confused. Am I blissful? Am I peaceful? Is this enlightenment? Where am I in the grade? Some guru says that living in the moment is bliss. Some guru says that, drop your attachment, drop your doership. Where do I drop? I don't know where it is. What about Prakash ji? What is Prakash ji's view?
I'm fully confused now.
Wonderful. Very nice.
But one thing is clear, unless an knowledge is internalized, it has no meaning, right? Otherwise, it remains just as theory. Correct. So, I mean, we all learn thermodynamics. Unless I start seeing the application of thermodynamics in the real life, I will never learn about thermodynamics. Actually, I know only the principles. So, in the same way, we have been given some information. Okay, I think this is what is called krama mukti. In somewhere I read this, where krama mukti is essentially you know the knowledge, you apply it, and then you realize. But there is a possibility for some people that you need not have to go this Jnana Marga itself. You can straight away go to the experiential one. But I'm now confused.
Then you develop the Jnana.
See, when we are referring to Jnana here, I think we are referring to something an intellect can know, right? But I think we are referring to an object or referring to a thing which is beyond the intellect.
But how do you even know that?
So it is not about
until this Jnana happens, until somebody comes and teaches that your knowledge is only going to take you till here, and after that you have to let go of your knowledge. So even that is a knowledge, no? That you have to let go of your knowledge.
Yeah. So therefore, it has to come by the experience only. I mean, experience again, we are talking in terms of senses.
Mm.
I think again, it is getting limited to the senses, to the intellect, right? So therefore, I don't know how to say this. It's simply beyond all this.
What is simply beyond all this? And beyond all this, what is this?
Now, this is essentially what I mean is the experience is what we are talking is also limited because of the senses.
Okay. What is an experience? What is an experience in the first place? What do we call as an experience? When I'm learning something, when I'm listening to let's say guru, and I'm learning something, is that not an experience, or is that an experience?
So whether it is an experience or mere knowledge or mere information, it's all happening at the sensory level of the body, right? So the
What do you mean by
object
that?
of the
Just
no,
zoom into that part.
I
Just zoom into
perceive
that
it through
part.
my senses.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right now, in order to listen to whatever I'm saying, is this an experience, or is it just a mere knowledge that, oh, I'm having a knowledge that I'm listening to somebody speaking over the
We
Zoom?
are experiencing.
It is it can become an experience if I apply it. Otherwise, it simply becomes an information.
Right now, the sound that you're hearing,
It's the experience.
is it an
Exactly what
experience,
I'm
that is a knowledge?
Yeah, I understood the question. Yeah, I understood the question. That whatever I'm hearing or whatever we are discussing, whatever I am getting out of it is all the information unless I apply it, unless I experience it.
You experience what?
For example,
right now you're
let's
hearing,
suppose
your listening is also an experience. So even when you are right now, as you say, I'm only listening to the information. The very act of listening is an experience, isn't it?
okay.
Then what is the other experience?
Yeah, shall I just add one point?
Yeah.
Though I will let
Please,
Prakash continue.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Depending on what the subject we're talking about, let's say if it is a mango fruit, and if you're talking about the sweet, I can describe it. I can give a lot of shape to it. It will be like this, like that. But if it is about the sensory part of tasting, then like only when the person tastes that real mango, that person will experience it. Otherwise, there is a gap in the sense like I know about it, but I have not. So it depends on what is that that I am talking about. If it is a music, it is to the ears, right? If it is a fruit, it's to the taste, tongue. So if we have to consider which aspect we are talking about. For me, when we are discussing, this is experience because it is listening to the ears. Okay, so here I will not be. I will not say it is different, but then I can say that the experience is at the words sound level. But then if that sound is not making any change, then it becomes a theory, right? So if sweet in the tongue creates the change that we are saying experience, a music becomes experience when it creates the change in it. Otherwise, it is a sound. It is just a sound. So it depends on whether it creates a change or not, is what the difference, where like it stays as a theory concept versus the experience.
But everything causes the change, no? Everything causes a change. See, for example, you hear tat tavam asi. You say, this is stupid, Re. I don't agree to this. How can I be that? See, that is great and this is small. So no way. It has caused a change in rejecting that information that came into you. That also caused a change. Or it can cause another change. Like it happened with Nisargadatta Maharaj. Nisargadatta Maharaj said, what was your sadhana? I went to my Sadguru. My Sadguru said, I am that. I just took it in faith. And as I continued my day-to-day existence, in everything I started noticing that. And that became a unaltered, unaltering, and a deeper reality for me. That is the path. So same statement, Tat Tvamasi. For one, the transformation level was, it transformed them into that. For another, it transformed them away from that. So how can we say that, everything is not an experience? What is an experience in the first place? That's why the question is, what is an experience in the first place? What are you referring as an experience?
Experience is something that is creating some change in the subject, that person. Okay, let's say now in a classroom, in a school, in a classroom. Okay, so a teacher walks in and like takes 1 hour class on physics. Okay, and they have been listening. Okay, and then and has that for them, it is something like a dream thing they might have heard. It might not have depending on, I will come to the depth part, right? But then like when they actually get to see it, there is a difference. The change basically is much higher when they are actually seeing it in action or doing it. For example, another example can be fire. Okay, if you touch the fire, it's going to burn you. It will be an informational level. Okay, that has not caused that depth in change. Versus when the person actually puts the finger in the fire and says, oops, oh, I didn't know it is so hot. Okay, that is the experience, because the impact of the depth of the change is at the highest.
Sure, but wasn't the first instance where somebody told him fire, showing the picture of fire and saying picture, and there it burns, that also caused a certain experience?
Yes, it is that depth difference. I would say that the depth of that change was lesser versus more here. Okay, same way when I am eating. Okay, so let's say we can have the same food served to two people in the family. Okay, and let's say one is like completely in the moment eating it, tasting it, and let's say the other person is going through the cell phone, attending calls and texting, and then at the end of the meal you ask them like, how was the experience? And the experience of the person who was completely in the moment may say that, you know what, this was like this, I liked it, this taste was like this, versus the other person will say like, oh, I just had it. That person may not be explained because that experience is very shallow there. So experience is there, but then the depth of that experience can is basically like making all the difference, right? So that is where you may have to teach again and again and again and again for someone like who is going at a very shallow level versus someone like who goes deeper, right? I mean, because it's just that like the receiver was completely in the moment to receive it completely, right? That receiver did not require anything else, versus the other one like where he's not ready to receive or capability wise or whatever.
So are you saying that these are two, like Shubhaji started? Shubhaji's statement is these are two complementary approaches. They're not kind of exclusive. Because what is the difference between knowledge and experience is the most important question here. So therefore, are you also saying that really there is no difference? It's only, one we call as knowledge because it hasn't left a deeper impression or a deeper feeling. In the other, there's a deeper feeling.
Yes, you will not repeat it again. After burning the finger by putting in the fire, you will not repeat it.
No, maybe it is mango eating, so you may want to
Or mango
again
eating.
and again, again and again.
Oh. No,
Right.
once you taste that man, yeah.
Yeah. Padmaji wants to speak, but Shubhaji, you please say.
No, I was referring to either mango or dark chocolate. My favorite too.
Sure. So, Padmaji.
Yeah. So, like Shubhaji, I believe that it is not exclusive. Both are not exclusive. They are complementary. Also, I think they are interchangeable. And one thing which I understand about experiences, once we experience something, the mind actually conceptualizes it. And whatever we experienced, it becomes an understanding for us. For example, the fire example that you gave, when a child didn't know it, it went and put the hand, but that experience would have led the mind to form some concept about that, whatever it is seeing. It may not even know it's a fire, but it will associate it with that, oh, this is not good for me, something like that. It will conceptualize. So I feel that experience is something which leaves an impression on you. Whereas intellectually knowing something might not leave an impression on you.
But it has left the impression, no, when first time the picture of the fire was shown.
No. Suppose you are only seeing the fire.
Yeah.
It might not have left a deep impression on you. You might have just seen it. Okay, fire. Somebody would have told fire. You would have understood it as fire. But the impact of it, that you would not know to the extent that you know it after actually experiencing it.
So you are also.
I am saying that
what Saravamanji said. It's the depth in impression that changes between knowledge versus experience.
I don't want to use the word depth, because again that is limited to the senses. So something that I can tolerate, maybe you might not be able to tolerate it, depending upon your tolerance or your sense organs, how they are. For example, somebody who owns a sweet shop or somebody who is constantly making sweets may not like sweet at all, because he might be even getting averse to it because he's looking at it every day. So I wouldn't say depth of impression, because any experience leaves an impression, and that is very individual. Having said that, I believe that it is complementary and also sometimes interchangeable. For example, the same fire thing you might already know, but experiencing it will probably put a how do you say that, like it gives a more concrete this thing to the knowledge, like how Prakashji also said that unless and until I see the application of that particular thing, it is all there only in the theoretical level. Having said all this, when I understand it like this, I think self-realization is a direct experience, is what I feel, because there is no text whatsoever that tells us what does it feel like, or for example, I always want to ask this question to Guruji, how do you feel like now after a realization? I don't think anybody ever has addressed it to that extent, like how you are supposed to feel, or maybe it is not supposed to be said, because again, you will put you will put something to it, that this is how I should feel. Like you were talking about that bliss thing. It is something like that. So we will put again self-realization is in a box, that this is how A, B, and C should be there, and this is the order you follow and stuff like that. Maybe that's why nobody has even spoken how you feel about it. They just say that how they act post that. Once self-realized, how your action changes is what every scripture or every great master is talking about. But they don't actually talk about that moment when that happens to them, or when they realize that nobody talks about. That is one thing. So I think it should be an experience.
One small question there. When you say the moment it happens, so you are associating this with a particular time.
No, wait, no, sir, I am coming to that. So having said all this, okay, I have written something which you shared, and Ramana Maharishi also, about Ramana Maharishi, and I read that, I keep it in my desktop, where it says that self is always the self, and there is no such thing as realizing it, because who is to realize what and how, when all that exists is the self? That is something Ramana Maharishi said, and I know many times you also put this question to us, what is there, who is there to realize this? Keep coming back in your words when you speak to us. So then, when after thinking about all this, I thought about that. Okay, then where is the connection here? I'm thinking like that. So for me, it seems a little bit contradictory, or maybe I'm not understanding it completely. So that itself is contradictory to me. So if I put that statement as the primary and the only statement, then this whole debate of whether it is experiential or intellectual itself, it doesn't arise. No, there is no question of that, is what I feel. I don't know if my direction is correct. That's how I feel. Then what is the point of debating whether it should be whether it's an experiential or whether it is intellectual, and how does it make a difference? But definitely knowing that who you are not helps you. Who you are might be inherent, and like you say, there is nothing to realize, but knowing who you are not definitely helps. Definitely has helped me. Excellent. And I think it will help everybody, because that is where the discrimination is coming. That is where you are starting to detach and see yourself as not away from the screen, or separate from the screen. You are not the screen. That thing comes only when you know who you are not. Very nice. So see, this is not necessarily one versus the other question. Though the question was framed in that way, in reality, it is not so. Through our discussion, you can clearly see sometimes knowledge happens through some spoken words. Sometimes knowledge happens through experience. So knowledge is always happening. So the whole life, we have split it into, there is something to know, and there is somebody who is knowing, and there's a knowing process. That whole triputi. There is a knower, knowing, and then object to be known. Because that is how the mind starts functioning. So what is knowledge then? Knowledge is, I know something about something. I know about physics, I know about math, I know about eating, I know about how to live life, I know how to make money. So many subjects, we know, we use that, no? Do you know that? So we say, no, I don't know. Can you teach me? So there is this something to be known about something unknown. When it comes to self-realization, because the focus is always towards knowing something that is coming into the screen called mind. Mind, what comes into the mind? Into the mind comes whatever there is in the impressions, or whatever comes through the senses. So
knowing is always directed outwards. Because, what comes to the senses? Oh, what is that? As a little child, very curious. What is that? What is this? Why is that? Why is that? How is that? So all this is because so many things are coming. But never a question, who is the one who is knowing, comes into the mind, because that is not something that reflects in the mind as an object. Because what reflects in the mind? Whatever the impressions that are in the mind and whatever is coming through the senses. It is like the mirror itself will not be able to come back and have a reflection of the mirror in the instrument called the mirror. So the mirror itself is not reflecting there, because mirror is the one which is the surface on which the reflection is happening. So self is the surface on which the mind is getting projected and reflections from the world are happening. So never a question about who is the one who is seeing, who is the one who is the source of the knowledge, who is the one who is knowing, the subject, the question about the subject never occurs. Till when? Till, this is so busy with the objects here coming and going. And all these objects, various kinds of knowledge starts getting built up. I get this, I become happy. I do this, I become peaceful. All that happens because of the way the reflections are coming and going, and the association that is getting built, or the way the knowledge is getting built, or the jnana is getting that built. Is that jnana right jnana or not? Never that is a question, but jnana is getting built. So therefore, there is an association getting built, but there is an intrinsic seeking, intrinsic feeling of, I need to be happy. I need to be peaceful. I need to be feeling sense of trupti or completeness. That seems to be inherent in whatever that you are dealing with, in all the objects that you're dealing with on the screen called mind. Where do you go? Where do you tend towards? It is inherent in every being to be happy. No being wants to be unhappy. That seems to be inherent. So the seeking is there. There is a fundamental drive, fundamental seeking towards that. So the knowledge that it is from the objects in the mind is what makes you keep seeking the objects. How do I get that object is what becomes the logic. So this logic has to be broken, because this logic is incomplete. And who says it is incomplete? The one who has broken free from that cycle realizes that this cycle is limiting. This cycle is never going to be bringing you to your completeness. The one who realizes, you may give various names to that, being. You may call him a Buddha, you may call him a Arihanta, you may call him a Sadguru, you may call him whatever the names are different. But there is someone who breaks free of this logic and realizes, oh, this logic is the catch. So now, as far as the other is concerned, he has no other. He has no other because he is broken free. So to the Buddha, there is no ignorant being, because there is no more ignorance. Because the ignorance, where was it? It was in the mind. It was in the mind. So it was in the way the mind was interpreting the impressions coming. So therefore are the sensations coming. So for the Buddha, there is no more unenlightened. There is no more ignorant. But then an object appears in the mind and asks a question. So the Buddha just responds to that. And that is taken as jnana about the self. So like that, the teaching begins. So this jnana for the Buddha till then is a wholesome experience. For the Buddha, it's a wholesome experience. There is no need to divide that into words and calling it as shloka number 1, shloka number 2. For Krishna, shlokas are not the way he experiences the truth. Shloka, he doesn't remember, okay, now which shloka should I apply here? Sarvadharman parityajya. Oh, no. Which shloka? Karmanne vadikaraste. He's not thinking in terms of this shloka number. Shloka happened as a product of the question that came to that Buddha. Shloka was not the intention of Buddha. Shloka happened as a vehicle of transmission of removal of the ignorance. So therefore, then when it comes to the subject of the self-realization or about the self, somewhere there is a deep dissatisfaction about whatever the object that I've acquired. So therefore, I am the one. Who is this I? Later through Gnana, I realize there is this fictional entity called I, the one who was feeling that he's become separated. So this ego starts the quest. Ego starts the journey. I have to self-realize. And ego finds out various ways, does various experiments, and realizes this experiment is not working. How does it realize? Because a sense of dissatisfaction, that trupti is not completely felt. Because that is the only simple yardstick through which you do whatever you do. See, how much do you eat? You're eating. How much do you eat? You feel, now I'm done. I'm enough. Please, no more, I can have it. You feel a sense of trupti. That's it. No more. Even if it is your most favorite dark chocolate or mango, you will not eat it. So that sense of trupti, satisfaction, oh, I'm done, is what is naturally guiding you. You or anybody. How much does the baby suck the milk? How much milk does it suck? Till it feels sense of completion. Done. I'm feeling full. I'm right now satisfied. When it is not satisfied, it is crying. So it is naturally there in you to seek. You are crying. You don't know what will make it feel fulfilled. As a baby, you start crying. You don't know that it's the milk that I am seeking. You're just crying. Why? Because there is some sensation in the stomach. You don't even know all these words. It's a sensation, stomach. It's just a very natural phenomenon. It's a cry. It's coming out as a cry. The one who's outside will experience this as a cry. Will see this as a cry. And when does the cry go away? When something called a milk is offered to that child. So then the child naturally realizes the connection between this milk and the sensation and the reason for crying. No more it will cry. Now it will be evolved and it will go and get the milk. Now it will ask for the milk. So this is how natural evolution is happening. There is nothing to be done there. So now when it comes to self-realization, the knowledge that all this is the, whatever the screen, and the ego is the reason, and I have to dissolve the ego, and there's a path for dissolution of that ego. How can it come? It can come in many different ways. So for Tulsidas, his wife's one sentence, if you had put the same effort to realize Rama, you would have been free. That opened his doors. And how did it open his doors? What does it mean to open the door? In his mind, he was at that point in time completely in a receptive mode. He received that statement. You may say that's just a sensation, but when that statement went inside, it caused a deep question or a deep change. So the deep change sometimes can be through just mere words spoken by somebody. Sometimes it can be by the sensation of burning. So there is really no change as far as the fundamental mechanism is concerned. Everything is just a sensation. Whether you're eating a mango, whether you're listening to a talk, whether you are seeing something, what all of it essentially is nothing but sensation ultimately being reported to your mind. Everything is nothing but a sensation. So therefore, the concept of ahara as a food to be eaten by the tongue is an incomplete description of ahara. Ahara is what you see is also ahara. It's a ahara for who, like it is said, no, before we consume food, brahmarpanam brahmahavihi. Everything is ultimately as an offering to the yagna. And whose yagna? Brahma's yagna. So everything is an offering. So how does this realization occur? Sometimes it can occur through something that, may not have come as a formal knowledge system. That wife did not necessarily say it by saying that, see this scripture number here, this is the formal knowledge on this page, and therefore I'm telling you, if you had put the same effort. At that point in time, it was a deep sense, the feeling through which she said, and he was ready to receive, and that went in and caused a deep transformation. And when the transformation process began, he could realize the truth and the untruth, and he started expressing it in his own way. So he wrote Tulsidas Ramana. Prabhuji says it in his own way. Ramana says it in his own way. Shankaracharya said it in his own way. But what they were saying is all pointing to the same reality. But the medium of expression and the way of saying is slightly different. So, therefore, what is experience at the end of the day? As long as there is an ego entity is the one which is feeling, I am experiencing, I am seeking, I am knowing, I am the one who has to understand. All of that is happening by the ego entity. There's an entity called ego, which is constantly saying, I am doing, I am learning, I am understanding. So when it comes to self-realization, dissolution of this ego is the fundamental mantra for realizing or deeply feeling what you all referred as that deep experience, that deep impact. And how does that dissolution happen? Various means. Bhakti, where you just surrender to a higher power, a divine power. Hara Guru, Bhakti, where there is no more question. It's fully faith. But in some cases, depending upon the quality of the mind has a questioning approach. The mind has a wanting to know approach. So an intellectual way of understanding approach. Bhakti cannot be understood intellectually. Say, offer yourself 100%. What does it mean? An intellectual person may ask a question. What does it mean to offer yourself 100%? How do you offer? Oh, what are you offering? Where? In my memory I should drop, or in my intellect I should? So 100 questions come for an intellectual way of knowing things. Nothing wrong with that. That is the way that particular mind's structure is. So bhakti is for a simple mind. The guru says, you are that, and the mind accepts it, and that's it, job done. It is burnt away. But there's an intellectual mind. There, the same statement may create 100 other questions. You are that. Who am I? Who is that you are referring to? Who is that you are referring to? That is another way. So that is the Jnana Marga. So the Jnana Marga, that fundamental set of questions, as long as the seeking is genuine. That's why Krishna also says, there are 4 types, no? The Jignasu, the Artharthi, and the one who is really seeking. So for only that one, this Jnana then becomes a vehicle of transformation. So whether it comes as an experience, I went and suddenly I felt oneness with everything. I don't know what it is. I wanted to understand. Then I realized this experience is in the books. So there's a wonderful experience given by some of these NASA scientists who for the first time went and flew above the earth. So when the first time, some of them said, when the first time they flew above the earth and they were seeing the earth from such a distance, suddenly they felt something like they were not separate from anything else. They're part of one whole thing. And there is a scientist, I will share that video with all of you after this session. You can listen to him. He said, when I came back, something had shifted in me. And I started looking at, who can give me a good explanation. Being a scientist, I was looking for an explanation. I couldn't find any explanation in the science. I then went into various religious texts. Only when I came to Vedanta, Vedas, I felt this is what it is. I felt a deep connection to what Vedanta was saying in the so-called Hindu scriptures, is how he explains it. So here, something happened and that caused a deep transformation, and later some explanation to transact in the world was given by that person. Otherwise, for the Buddha, there is no need to talk. There is no need to explain. He is just now in that wholesomeness, and life is happening as part of that wholesomeness. In that wholesomeness, if a lot of questions, see, as soon as there is a flower and it is fully in bloom, naturally bees will come to it. Naturally bees will come to it. That is the way the life is. So when bees come, the flower doesn't stop. It just offers whatever it has. That's how knowledge system gets developed. Buddha came, Buddhism came later. Jesus came, Christianity came later. So like that, master's realization later is put into some kind of a structured knowledge system in order to help, or at least that is what the initial one, who is there, thinks is needed. So therefore, that becomes a formal knowledge system. So therefore, is there a contradiction? Not at all a contradiction. Because ultimately, everything is happening. So ultimately, everything is just flowing. An experience is something that I recognize later and say, this is an experience that happened. Because see, you cannot explain the experience when the experience is happening. You'll only talk about the experience as a post fact. That happened. I ate a mango. Oh my God, so delicious. Because the moment you are explaining, you're using the concepts in the mind. There is no other way. Please see. What you call as experience or what you call as information, what you call as knowledge is nothing but you picking something from your mind and then trying to explain. But when that whole experience is happening, there is no way to explain the experience as it is happening. You cannot be giving a commentary as match is going on. For the one who is batting there, he's not there to give a commentary. Only somebody sitting outside is giving a commentary. But the one who is batting is fully involved in batting. That ball, how should I play this ball? There is no way to, you cannot suddenly stop him. Freeze, like in the movie it happens, the ball is coming, suddenly freeze. Tell me what is going on in your mind. Okay, now unfreeze, ball comes. It cannot happen that way. Life is not that way. So is this all bringing clarity, or is it still creating more questions or confusions?
No, I think sure. We every once in a while we should pause, stop to look back on the understanding.
Because who we call as Jivan Mukta, that topic, this particular question that we are now deliberating is very important. Because who is Jivan Mukta? Who is Jivan Mukta? It is described as a childlike. He goes, Ramana Maharshi gives it sahaja. Sahaja means natural. Natural means it cannot be something that you acquire. So he says it is sahaja samadhi. Samadhi means what? There is no more disturbance in the mind. It is in the samasthiti. Come what may, he is in equanimous state of the mind. Sahaja. And it is not by effort. When there is an effort, then it is an intellectual affair. But to be in the sahaja, initially intellectual affair is okay. Because unless you understand that there is an effort and that is the reason for all my fatigue, how will you relax? Because you gotten into some logic, because you have an instrument, pretty powerful instrument called mind. And you gotten into a process and the logic is mistake. There's a bug. So until the bug is removed, effortlessness doesn't happen. So therefore, ultimately it is simply effortless way of living life is Jivan Mukti. There is no conflict. There is no disturbance. The roles are being performed. You are acting in the life. And the nature of your actions, depending upon your vasanas in the mind, and depending upon the impressions, and depending upon whatever is universally necessary, will happen through you. So Ramana Maharshi did not teach the way Prabhuji is teaching. Shankaracharya did totally different nature of work. So each master, it is not out of, okay, this is what is the problem in the life I need to fix. This is a natural flow that happens. So it is like when the rain comes and you know, how does it become a river? Rain comes and it gathers and it starts flowing in some direction. How? If there is a rock, it will not try to go through the rock. It will run around the rock. So over a period of time like that, a path happens. And you say, see, this path is Kaveri River. How did the path itself happen? By the rocks and the bushes and the stones and the smooth land that could cave in. So through that, some path happened. Later, we come and recognize, and that is the path. But that is not necessarily the path. It is one of the path. How did it happen? Based on what was there, naturally the river was flowing. It was not trying to decide. That stream was not trying to decide, will I flow like this? And then I will go to Srirangapattanam first and then go to next town, near Bangalore, and then I will reach Tamil Nadu, then I will go to ocean. No. Natural flow, and along the way, natural resistances that caved the path. And somebody later recognizes that as Kaveri. So are the challenges in the life. See, you are shaped by the challenges in your life. That gives you the natural way of flowing in your life. So Jivan Mukti is being in that recognition that you are ever liberated. And how to come to that? It can be through a deep experience, some jolting experience, or through how Prakashji said, Krama Mukti. So you get a PhD by doing first standard, second standard, third standard, and then high school, then college. There's a Krama Mukti. Slowly, you deepen. So this knowledge of self-realization helps you to become free from the screen called mind and start becoming aware of you awareness. So as the intellectual knowledge seeps in, it is becoming deeper and deeper. It has to become deeper. Then it's a krama mukti. It's not a one big jolt. You didn't fall from 20 floors and break all your bones. You're slowly, inch by inch, you're sliding down, and you reach the ground zero where you are completely stable. But the indicators is important, because what is that you're seeking? You're seeking sense of peace, sense of completeness. So with that as a yardstick, then that is the knowledge that you will naturally gravitate towards. You'll naturally gravitate towards that which makes you peaceful. All right. Shall we, are there any statements or questions?
We can continue more.
All right. So then we'll end our session today.
Yeah, yes, sir. I also want to go through whatever you have spoken again, listen to it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll share the prayers. Rupaji has left, right? Okay. So who wants to volunteer to share the ending prayer?
I'll do it, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totality remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Who am I? Nanu, Nanenbudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Manabuddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivananu Nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am not the body, mind, intellect. I am pure consciousness, Shiva Swarupi. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Recognition of self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is the truth. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshi Yamamritat. We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death from mortality. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु हरिः ओम तत्सत्.
Thank you very much, Padmaji. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.